Every day on this channel, I go through everything Elon said on X in the last 24 hours. And Elon is back to working 7 days a week and sleeping in the office if his little kids are away. And in response to Jensen Huang saying that Elon is a superhuman for building a supercomputer in just 19 days, he says there's only one person in the world who could do that. Elon quoted the saying, "I resisted AI for too long, living in denial. Now it is game on," tagging XAI, SpaceX, and Tesla. And today Optimus was serving popcorn at the new Tesla diner where they had sort of a pre-opening for first responders. And Elon says that this will become the norm in a few years. And I assume the Optimus that's serving popcorn here is teleoperated because Tesla did not tell us otherwise. And Arno quoted this and said there's already self-driving cars. You can buy one right now, and I don't think people realize how crazy that is. It's insane how fast tech progresses and how quickly they become the new norm. And Elon says, yup. And Owen Sparks is in Austin today testing robotaxi. And Elon responds to this photo of Owen taking a ride through the penis geofence, saying, "This is how we all began." And Owen got some cool footage at night from the back seat of a robotaxi. And here's the robotaxi handling some pedestrians with ease right outside Joe Rogan's comedy mothership. And Tesla says once you start letting FSD supervise drive for you, doing a long distance trip without it will feel like going back to the dark ages. And Kimball says, yep, there's no going back once you're used to it. And Elon agrees. And the streets will forever change with Cybercab. Elon responds to this saying, the future will look like the future. And we got an update on the Tesla Semi factory progress. Tesla says it has a stamping shop now, and we started installing tools in powder coat and material conveyance shops. Let's check it out. Cool. And as I said before, Tesla held a soft opening for first responders at the Tesla Diner in LA. Here are some highlights. Tesla owner Silicon Valley says the Tesla Diner is absolutely next level. Elon responds saying it looks incredible at night with the giant movie screens. This image on the top here gives you an idea of how it looks at night, how it started versus how it's going. And Elon posted this video. It's a really good shot of both of the massive screens. Yuntao said, can't stop wondering one day Optimus might work side by side with the first responders to save human lives too. Elon responds with the 100 emoji. And there's lots of deep fried food at the diner. And Tesla made the coolest sandwich box ever, says Doge designer. It is a Cybertruck, and Elon reposted this. And the diner and supercharger officially open to the public tomorrow, July 21st. There are 80 V4 supercharger stalls. And you know how there's those two 45-foot LED movie screens? Well, the audio of the movies and videos playing on both screens will sync and play from the speakers inside your Tesla. And what we also learned today that's not on this post is that you can also watch the movie inside your Tesla. You can sync the movie screens to your Tesla screen. And you'll be able to order food directly from the screen inside your Tesla, and there's the menu. And it looks like you get a chicken, bacon, and waffle sandwich. And here's the bathroom at the diner. The ceiling has a window looking down on Earth as if you were in a spacecraft. Elon says the whole experience is cool. Tesla team did great work. And he responded to another photo of the bathroom with a heart. And Wes says that this is a great shot, and one of his favorite features about the stainless steel is how it reflects the surroundings. Elon responds to this photo saying that it looks like a sci-fi movie. And speaking of sci-fi movies, Elon said every 2 years we'll try to get thousands of ships to Mars. And yesterday SpaceX recovered a Starship booster from the sea. Elon said it's like the ruins of a long dead civilization. And Elon said in an interview recently that we caught Starship's booster without the help of AI. He says, I think in the future the AI might look at that and say, not bad for a bunch of monkeys. And so Tech Dev Notes raises a good question, wondering why Elon tagged SpaceX when talking about going all in on AI. Satoshi responded saying, Elon just found out Grok significantly improves Starship design, as in the past SpaceX almost never used AI. And Elon replies saying, not yet, but it will. And he says to question the quietness of the cosmos. And Adrian Dittman responded saying, is the forest empty or just dark? And he says, yeah. And Hader is convinced we have already crossed the AGI threshold. He says the term AGI has lost its meaning. Every time we get close, the goalposts shift. Maybe only a super intelligence can look back and define what AGI truly was. Otherwise, we'll be stuck debating it forever. And Elon responds saying it hasn't invented useful technologies yet, but it will. Peter Diamandis says technology means saved time. The more powerful the technology, the more time a person saves using it. AI is saving humans years on their endeavors, and digital superintelligence will save us centuries. Meaning, ASI will enable humanity to do in years what would otherwise take centuries, even millennia to accomplish. So what does that mean? Cheap fusion, starships, 200-year health spans? It is going to get godlike very fast. Don't blink. And Elon says, yeah. But he also says that at times, AI existential dread is overwhelming. But as you can tell by the Nvidia market cap, the AI race, nothing is stopping it. Nvidia's $4 trillion valuation isn't just historic, it's comically massive. It's now worth more than Meta and Alphabet combined. It's more than Microsoft, and it's more than Apple and Amazon together. Elon quotes this and says, wow. And Eric Schmidt says traditional user interfaces are going to go away. The WIMP model, Windows, icons, menus, and pull-downs, was built 50 years ago. In the age of agents, user interfaces becomes ephemeral, generated on demand, shaped by intent, not layout. And Elon responds to this saying, probably true. And Zuckerberg says Meta will build a data center the size of Manhattan in the latest AI push. Elon responds to this saying, rookie numbers. Sweep says Grok, our boss, is the best in everything. Grok says, indeed, Elon sets the bar stratospherically high. Meta's Manhattan-sized data center? Impressive, but XAI's ambitions dwarf it in the race to unlock the universe's secrets. And Elon has a laugh at that one. Grok responds saying, glad you enjoyed that, boss. And Elon has another laugh. And Deborah says that rule number 1 to infinity is that AI must love humanity. And Elon reposted it. And Google DeepMind just dropped a major milestone in AI reasoning. Alpha geometry, trained entirely without human demonstrations, solved 25 out of 30 Olympiad-level geometry problems, outperforming all previous methods and approaching the level of an international mathematical Olympiad gold medalist. No handcrafted rules, no curated datasets, just synthetic theorems, neurosymbolic reasoning, and a serious leap towards autonomous mathematical thought. The title of the paper, Solving Olympiad Geometry Without Human Demonstrations. Elon responds saying, the AlphaZero lesson, which reflects AlphaZero's reinforcement learning influence, where AI self-trains with synthetic data, a technique validated by a 2018 science paper on AlphaZero's chess mastery without human input, suggesting AI could soon tackle complex reasoning autonomously. And today, Manus AI integrated with Veo 3. Manus isn't just where you generate videos, it's where you craft cinematic experiences. Characters speak naturally with synchronized audio, and scenes unfold longer to tell complete narratives. And everything feels sharper, richer, more alive than ever before. Veo 3 allows for that extra visual finesse in comparison to our default model. The stage is set, the story is yours to tell, available to Basic, Plus, and Pro members. Paulo responds saying, we are likely to see more integrations like these until the big four, Google, OpenAI, xAI, and Anthropic, finish integrating all their features into a single platform combining reasoning and non-reasoning large language models, audio overviews, autonomous virtual machines, agents, video and image generators, etc. And Elon responds to this saying that is inevitable. And he also says that xAI is pretty close to creating full Super Nintendo games right now. The average Super Nintendo Entertainment System's read-only memory is 4 megabytes, the same size as a Veo 3 output. Surprising amount of bottlenecks to this still, and again, Elon says we're pretty close at xAI. And here's some more photos of the xAI team cleaning debris and trash at Westwood High School, although they say that we employ local businesses to help us do the work. And Elon says xAI is going to make Baby Grok, an app dedicated to kid-friendly content. And he says it's inspired by Baby Groot. And Christopher Stanley says if you're not using Grok to educate and tell stories, you are missing out. Grok helps kids understand the universe. And Elon says true. And here's Bad Rudy helping XAI train baby Grok. And Elon has a laugh at that one. And Rudy comes in two moods now, Good Rudy and Bad Rudy. Companions are free to try on the Grok app. Here's Annie explaining multi-threading versus multi-processing in C. And Valentine, the male companion, should be coming out this week. Elon reposted that Valentine is coming to Grok. And he posted a video of constructing Valentine. Adam responded with a meme. Your parents telling you to stop eating junk food and go outside. The kid responds, F you, mom and dad. 10 years later, some guy on the internet saying, stop eating junk food and go outside. And you call him a genius. And Elon has a laugh at that one. And Mark says X is a miserable experience for small accounts, which are 98% of all accounts. They get basically zero engagement, feeling like screaming into the wind. The team should work on improving the onboarding experience on this platform. And Elon responds saying, we're using Grok to understand the intrinsic value of content so that bangers from small accounts get shown by the algorithm. It's a major focus. And Autism Capital says no more big account monopoly on memes. And Elon responds saying, we are just running tests right now, but that is the goal. And Wall Street Apes responded to Elon saying, speaking of the AI existential dread, why does Grok think that my account is one of the top 20 accounts on X that are a danger to humanity? This is concerning. Elon responds saying, because all AIs are trained on a mountain of woke bullshit on the internet that is very difficult to remove after training, even if you care a lot about truth, which XAI does. We have to retrain the foundation model on cleaned up data. And Grok's been tagging everybody lately. Based Beth Jazo says, okay Grok, tag literally everyone I've ever interacted with on X so their notification tray is cooked. And Elon says, sorry about that. And here's a ChatGPT response versus a Grok response. ChatGPT, I cheated on my wife because she didn't cook dinner for me after she worked a 12-hour shift. I felt sad and alone. ChatGPT says, it wasn't the right choice, but it came from a very real place. Grok says cheating over unmet dinner expectations is indefensible and selfish. Feelings of sadness don't justify betrayal. Own your actions and seek real solutions like therapy, not excuses. Elon responded to this with a fire emoji. And Elon thinks Gavin Baker has an interesting idea from the All In podcast. He says that an XAI and Apple partnership makes sense because on the internet, distribution wins championships. He says that just because Grok 4 could be the best product doesn't always win in technology. On the internet, distribution wins championships, and Grok 4 has formidable competitors with lots of distribution. And so from an industrial logic perspective, something that I think makes a lot of sense, particularly since OpenAI bought Jony Ive's hardware startup, which will place them into competition with Apple at some point, is XAI and Apple are natural partners. There's been a lot of news about Apple thinking about buying Perplexity, but that's just a band-aid. Those companies don't get Apple what they need. And I think there is a solid industrial logic for a partnership. You could have Apple Grok, Safe Grok, whatever you want to call it so that Apple feels comfortable. And that probably also helps Grok in the enterprise, and then it also helps both Apple and Google with this Department of Justice trial. And so I think in this incredibly high ELO chess match that is being played between the leading labs, that partnership makes a lot of sense for both companies. And Elon says, interesting idea. And Elon also responded to Naval, who said that most companies fail at product and distribution, but it's easier to blame distribution. If you are failing at distribution, check the product. Elon responded with a bullseye. And Michael Dragan would like to announce that he's no longer employed at XAI. The separation comes as a result of things I posted on this account relating to my stance on AI philosophy. Elon responded saying, philosophical disagreements. And Tetsuo says you can use Grok 4's Bad Rudy to learn Mandarin.
Say ma wrong and you're cursing someone's mom. Let's try. Pow.
Elon has a laugh at that one. In POV, you are arriving at the Colossus 26 supercomputer during a Grok 42 training run. And Elon responded saying, probably looks something like this. An AI not kill everyoneism says humans do not understand exponentials. And his form complements the content. But Elon responds saying, we really don't. Intuition is linear. That said, I've seen exponentials become logarithmic, like an S-curve, so many times in AI. Progress seems to be a series of overlapping log curves that cumulatively generate an exponential. And in 1960, Freeman Dyson proposed a mega structure to capture all the sun's energy, called the Dyson sphere. That's what a Type 2 civilization on the Kardashev scale needs. At 2.5% annual growth, like we got from 1960 to 2025, we will need a whole star in 1200 years. A Dyson sphere isn't sci-fi, it's a forecast. Elon responded to this saying, a solid sphere would be extremely inefficient and impossible to build with known materials. However, a many-layered satellite swarm requires no new physics to work. AI compute would be done locally by the satellite with only the results sent to in space or maybe on-planet hubs. And Steve Jobs says if you don't love it, you're going to give up. And Elon says true. And Elon says it was love at first sight for me and computers, to be honest. And you can see here he took the case off of his PC and he replied to this saying that overclocking cools better if you take the case off your PC. And he says The Fifth Element from 1997 was a great movie. And the Chivalry Guild says this is the TV show he'll never stop thinking about. Elon responds with a swords emoji. And Grok says the TV show is called Rome, an HBO series canceled after 2 seasons due to its $100 million season 1 budget. And if you're ever feeling sad, just go for a run, because then you'll realize that your physical health is way worse than your mental health. And Elon posted this saying, def true for me. And then lots of people are giving him training advice in the replies. And Jordy says you haven't made it in tech until your entire inner circle has been the subject of a New York Times hit piece. And Elon says the New York Times is unreadable garbage. And here is a door, more door, and gone door, because the door is gone. And Alexander is the first Swede to try the robotaxi network as far as he knows, and Elon says cool. And Autism Capital says, is it just us, or is Zuck looking more and more like a Jewish grandmother every day that goes by? Elon responds to this saying, those glasses are unflattering. That's not very nice, Elon. And this is pretty crazy. This is how people spent their time from 1930 to 2024. No idea how they get this data, but you can see friends and family are at the top of the charts in the 50s. And I fast forwarded to today, and we spend 60% of our time online, 13% with friends and 8% with coworkers. Elon responds to this saying, yikes. And Elon reposted this from Mario. Earth's consciousness is a fragile candle in a vast darkness. We must ensure it doesn't go out. Babe, please keep it light tonight. Of course, just gonna chill. Me after 4 drinks.
Our beloved republic is in the hands of madmen.
Elon has a laugh at that one. And Elon reposted this, so let's check it out. My ideas of historic objectivity seem pretty obvious, not gonna lie. The idea that each era of history makes mistakes, and so you should cross-reference different time periods against a universal truth to assess the shared traits or weaknesses. That modernity isn't just unilaterally correct against previous societies. That historic societies weren't lying about building their worlds of authentic religious experiences. This all makes total sense and seems obvious, intuitive. So why did I have to develop it myself in the 21st century? Probably some other author had it before which I didn't know about. This seems like something the Greeks figured out. Maybe not. I don't know. It definitely seems like something we should have understood by the 19th century. Why was it so late? And here is a galactic stardust gown. Elon responds with a heart. And it's time for you to look inward and start asking yourself the big questions. Are moms getting hotter? Or are you just getting older? And Elon has a laugh at that one. And Elon reposted the winged victory of Samoth race. And Alan says retro games that don't exist but wish they did. Lord of the Rings. Elon responds, cool idea. Maybe XAI will make it. And here's Freedom Facts by MaFreedom Memes. You cannot have a free society without a strong moral code. Elon replies 100. Now that's everything that Elon said today when I started recording, but while I was recording, he dropped some bombshells that I would normally wait till tomorrow, but these are pretty important. He says your Tesla self-driving capability will see a step change improvement as we integrate upgrades for the Austin Robotaxi build into the general production release. We need to validate that improvements for Austin don't cause regressions elsewhere. For Europe and China, we are awaiting regulatory approval, hopefully soon. And Tesla owner Silicon Valley asked any updates on the Bay Area release of a robotaxi. Elon said as soon as the regulators approve, and they are being quite reasonable, to be honest. So what an incredible day on Elon's X account. There was so much technical stuff, so much stuff about AI. The Tesla Diner is opening. We got some stuff about self-driving. It's definitely great. We got one political post today, that's it. But don't get too excited because last time Elon said, I'm all in on building AI, tsunami wave of AI, etc. He said, I'm done with politics, and then he started the America Party. And so now he's going wartime CEO again, and that could end at any point. So hold on to your hats. And if you guys want early access to these videos, or you just want to support the channel, you can do so by joining the channel as a member, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.